Well, wait a second though. How much do you the rumor that's been 2 years old now? It's not like somebody created this a week ago that these guys were all at the Olympics in China, and Chris Paul, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh all said let's play together, and Joe Johnson, who's like kind of the fifth Beatle in this whole thing. He's like the Peter Lawford or Joey Bishop of this group, but all those guys are like, yeah, let's play together in summer 2010. All right, let's take a blood pact, cut your finger. Like they did one of those type of deals. Do you think that actually happened?
I don't think it happened.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to impugn whoever reported it. I don't know who reported it, but I have a hard time believing it. And if they did say it, I don't think they understood the realities of the collective bargaining agreement and the fact that each of those guys to do something like that would have to leave some serious money on the table to do it. And that, I guess, that's a deal breaker. That's when you take that blood and try to stuff it back in the cut. When you find out this is going to cost me $5 million a year.
Agree or disagree that this has all been decided already?
Disagree.
You don't think that heading into July 1st, all of these guys know what they're going to do?
I think they all have an idea, but I don't think they know. And I think the reason is LeBron. I think Bosh knows he's leaving. I think Bosh is frankly waiting to see what LeBron does. I think Dwayne Wade knows he's staying and he's going to recruit hard. If not these guys, then the Joe Johnsons and Amari Stoudemire's or whoever. He's going to do that route. But I think LeBron is genuinely torn between leaving the city that has embraced him and that he grew up with and being loyal and winning an NBA championship. I think he understands now that's probably not going to happen in Cleveland, at least not anytime soon. And which of those two are going to matter the most to him? Everything that I hear from, I think, a credible source is that he is truly conflicted about that.
Until he signs with somebody else, then he won't be as conflicted.
I think his head's going to win over his heart. I think it should.
I think he ends up in Chicago with Bosh. I think they trade Leo Deng to Atlanta for Joe Johnson and put those three with Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah, and the NBA is over until 2020.
I think that I'm not sure about the Joe Johnson thing. I do think I've been saying this for a while, and I wish I could talk about a particular source that I had, but I think of all the people I've talked to is the most credible who believes that's exactly what's going to happen, and that LeBron, despite all the stuff about playing in Michael Jordan's shadow, LeBron is actually so intrigued with Jordan that to kind of live out his life, like, here's just an anecdote that I found so interesting, is that, Jordan, after games in Chicago, would go down to Gibson's Steakhouse on Rush Street, and he had a particular table that he would sit in the back, and he would smoke cigars, and he would eat, and he had his own waiter and everything else. He had that table. When LeBron heard that story, when he's in Chicago, he goes to Gibson's, sits at the same table, has the same waiter, when I was sitting at Gibson's during the Chicago draft camp, I can tell you this part about it. When I was sitting in the draft camp in Chicago, I went to Gibson's. And I'd heard this theory from, I think, a pretty good source. And so I started asking around. I said, who's Michael Jordan's waiter? And I found him. And I came and asked him, what do you think? Because this guy apparently was a confidant to Jordan. Jordan knew him well. There's one guy that Jordan was connected. I said, what do you think about LeBron? Has he come to Chicago? He said, he's come to Chicago. He already told me to reserve his table. So a waiter is going to scoop the story.
Wow.
LeBron to Chicago. Now, I don't actually think LeBron decided, but I just think it's a fun story.
Well, I agree with you. And also, the one argument that people have against him going to Chicago is that, why would he want to play in Jordan's shadow? What the hell did Kobe just do with Magic?
Right.
It's like these guys, if anything, they like that shadow. They want to continue like a legacy. They feel a kinship to it. I don't buy the whole, he wants his own thing and start his own thing. These guys don't care about that. And if anything, we know that LeBron, who wore number 23 his entire career, was a gigantic Michael Jordan fan. So I don't think that's going to dissuade him from signing.
I think people who are saying that have no idea who this guy is.
Right.
I think it's almost a bonus.
Yes.
Not a detriment that the Bulls were Michael Jordan's team.
I think that he would get a rush from, and being the last guy introduced. I think that's a bonus for him, not a negative.
And he's close to home.
Yeah.
He's close to home. And as long as he feels like he's not going to get shot the first time he goes into Akron after leaving the Cavs, I think he does it. I do think the guy doesn't want to be in such a place that he can't return home to Akron without being harassed or people, being really upset. Because I actually do think it's important to him. And if you listen to him carefully, the last time he spoke, he talked about his loyalty not to Cleveland, but to Akron.
Right, and I
thought that was a message.
If this does go down that way, the way that his team handles the information that they disperse in the next couple weeks after he signs will be the key, because I think he could really hardcore play the whole, listen, I wanted to stay, they effed up the team around me. And I have never played with an all-star. Don't count Mo Williams, because we all know he's not an all-star.
He was a LeBron all-star.
Yeah, I carried those guys day in and day out for 7 years. Every trade they made was terrible. The only good draft pick they ever made was Varejao. And you know what? I'm 25 years old and I want to win a title, and I think I served my time. And if you want to blame somebody, blame the owner, blame Danny Ferry, blame Jim Paxson for giving away a number one for Yuri Welsh and all the dumb things he did. Like those are the reasons that I'm leaving, not because I don't like Cleveland and not because I don't care about Akron. And I think that could be dispersed in the type of way that would at least make people go, all right, I don't like it, but I get it.
And this is why I think the Bulls are the only credible destination for LeBron.
Yeah, Miami is a slap in the face.
Miami, maybe if it's with Bosch and Wade, he can also sell that. But if he goes to New York to play with Danilo Gallinari,
right,
and the group, he's saying, I want to be in New York. I want the big lights, the big city. It's about the marketing. It's about the global brand. And you can't credibly sit in the press conference and then look Cavs fans and broken-hearted Akron fans in the eye and say, this is really about winning and the Cavs screwing it up. But you can legitimately say that, and I think any NBA fan, they'll be hurt, but at a deep level will understand he's right. He's got a much better chance of winning in Chicago than he does in Cleveland.